We're coming up on driver suspension eligibility week. It's next week over at the DMV. It's a chance for drivers with certain license suspensions to be able to reduce or clear the remaining time on that suspension. Attorney David Aylor, guy who always keeps his hands at 10-2 on the wheel, joins us right now with some updates on that. Counselor, thanks so much for being on the program. We do appreciate it as always. But tell me all about this driver suspension kind of easements and who's eligible for it.
Well, it's actually a very great program that they put on here in South Carolina because several types of suspensions that people have are not always just related to the fine amounts. Essentially, they'll pay off the fines, but then still have several months or even up to a year because of various violations that stop them from being able to get a license. Unfortunately, sometimes that turns into them driving and then getting in trouble again while driving under suspension. So what the DMV has done here is that they've allowed people to come within this 1 week, which again is this coming week, and they're able to pay off any fines that they have and also have that suspension time basically stopped. So while they may have another 4 months on their suspension, they'll let them go ahead and get the reinstatement and move forward with getting their license, getting legal back on the road.
If you pay your bills. That's the key thing here. Is this kind of a ploy to get some more revenue into the DMV and the state and tax system, you think?
Well, I think it's something that obviously plays into it, but you got to remember they're going to get this money at some point anyway if you want your license back. So I think it really is more for the drivers to be legal on the roads. There are a few caveats in it. Your suspension cannot be related to drugs or alcohol. So if it was a DUI or something in reference to a DUI, or if there was a certain type of conviction you had that led to that suspension. However, there are several other types of things that people have their license suspended for, which I often see, including, where they never paid a ticket. Their license tag information is not current, meaning that they're not registered properly, and of course the lack of having insurance or driving another person's car without insurance. And then maybe for the youngsters, you look at things like too many points, reckless driving, too many speeding tickets. I mean, it's a really good opportunity to be able to come back, get your license legal again just by paying those fines, as opposed to having to wait those months and months to finally get legal again.
Yeah, and all you have to do is take a trip to the DMV, which we all know is lovely at this time of year. So, David, clearly the DUI or the drug conviction, that's not going to fly. But people with those minor, things can go and they can wait and they can pay their fines and get their license back. Is it a good idea for drivers to do that during this week? And do they just need to go there? Do they can find more information on the state's DMV website? I mean, how exactly?
You can find all the information is online on the DMV website, and it goes through specifically who can and who can't apply and how they can be eligible. So before you go down there and take the trip, because we know sometimes the lines are a little bit long, you want to go online and make sure that you are someone who would be able to benefit from this. When it comes to trying to get that fine money together to get the suspension released, I absolutely would encourage everybody to go, simply because there are those situations where people tend not to drive, but then maybe something comes up, they get behind the wheel, and then when they get hit with another DUS, which is a driving under suspension, you're talking about potentially going to jail at that point, and then that suspension now is going to extend even further.
So make sure you take care of it now while you can. Again, that week is next week. Just stop into your local branch of the South Carolina DMV and hopefully get that taken care of. Get back on the roadways and be safe out there. Attorney David Aylor, thanks for your time, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Do appreciate the information. Much more after the break on Low Country Live. Make sure you stick around.